Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, we're going to take a look at Multi Attach. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder called Multi Attach. And in here, we're going to copy some stuff over here. I'm just trying to think which is a good one. Probably our basic, which has um, some good stuff in there. We'll go ahead and paste that in. And the reason I want to use that one is because it will deploy a volume as well as an EC2 instance. I'm going to go ahead and just call this one Multi Attach. And multi-attach seems like it's very similar to EFS, except it's a regular EBS volume that allows you to attach to multiple EC2 instances that are in the same availability zone. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create two EC2 instances. I'm going to get rid of this user data. We don't need both of them. And the network interface is fine, but we don't need that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove this, and it will just launch with the default. So I'll take that out of here. And we'll have my EC2 instance 1, and then we'll have my EC2 instance 2. 1 and 2. The only thing I want to do is make sure we know exactly where they're launching. So I'm going to go ahead and type in EC2 instance CloudFormation because we need to really specify the availability zone. And so in here we have an availability zone option. I'm going to go back over to here, and we'll paste that in, and we'll just say CA Central 1A. For this one and for this one. So hopefully that will be sufficient. We do want to create a new volume, but one thing we need to do is we need to change it so that it could use multi-attach. So in here we have multi-attach, and we'll go switch this over to multi-attach enabled. And I believe there are some other requirements because you can't just multi-attach any kind of volume. It has to be a particular kind. So let me go take a look here. So I think this is the instructions here for multi-attach. I'm going to go grab this and put it in our README here. I think we have to use an IOPS one here. So we'll go ahead and go over here. And let's take a look at the requirements. So IO2 volumes can have multi-attach. So if you're not comfortable launching up an IO2, then don't do this. You can just watch me do it, but that's what we're going to need to do for this to work. So I'm going to go over here and take a look at our configuration options. And I'm looking for IO2. So this will be IOPS. And we'll go here. We'll say IO2. I feel like there's some other things we'll have to configure here. Let's go back to this for a moment. Just close out some tabs. I got too much going on here. I can't see what I'm doing. Close this one out, close this one out. And let me just read this quickly. It looks like IO1 can do it, but like it's talking about after creation, okay? But again, just going to keep reading here for specific requirements. All right, the other thing is that this is only available in particular regions, so we're actually going to have to change this to be US East 1. It's not going to work in other places. I'm going to go here and change this to be US East 1A. And that one to be US East 1A. Let me read a bit more. Okay. The other thing is I just don't know what is the default or the minimum value for the volume for an IO2. So I'm going to go over to EC2. I'm just using this as a way to take a quick look. If I go over to volumes and I create a volume, I want to switch this over to IO2. And the lowest is 4. So that's what I'm going to do is change this to 4. Just change that to 4. Okay. And I think that's okay. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but it keeps tripping me up here, making me think that this is incorrect. So the parameters required for IO2, the default GPT-3 is 3000. The parameter is not supported for these. Okay. Oh, but isn't it specifying how much the IOPS and not necessarily the type of drive it is? So I think that one's wrong. And I'm actually looking for the volume type. That's what I want to change. I thought that looked a little bit funny. So I'm going to switch this out to volume type instead. And hopefully this will work. But yeah, the idea is that we have a volume here. And we actually want to attach it to 2 volumes. So we have my EC2 instance 1. And then we have my 2, and so we'll just say 1 and 2. Okay, so in theory, this should work. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. I'm going to go over to console, make it over to CloudFormation. And we'll go to change sets. And it looks like it's going to do all this stuff. We'll go ahead and execute. And we'll see if this succeeds or we have a failure here, okay? All right, so it looks like it worked first time. That is great. I love it when we don't have to debug things like a maniac. We're going to go over to EC2. And what I want to do is I want to see if the volume is there. So we should have 2 instances running. I see 1. So right away, that is not a good indicator. Oh, you know what? I think 1 is in C Central 1 and 1 is in US East 1. Is it though? How would that be? You know what? Hold on here. I think this is an old one. So I'm going to go over to CloudFormation 1 second here. Because this should not be launching in CA Central 1. This should be in US East 1, right? Because we said that we need to run it here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I thought I was smart. I thought I had it all. And apparently it's not deployed in the right place at all. Okay, so we're going to go back here because I do not trust this. And you know what it is? I'm in the wrong folder. If you're not in the right folder, you can't get things working properly. So we'll go ahead and deploy this. And I bet it won't work. There you go. It doesn't work. Undefined resource, my EC2 instance. Okay. So we'll go back over to here. And we have our new volume. I'm just going to hard code this. We'll just say US East 1A. Okay. We'll go ahead and deploy this. And I'm going to go over to US East 1. I have no idea what all this junk is. We got old junk here. And I'm going to go into here, and then hopefully this works first time. I'm so full of myself. I thought I got it first time. Okay, see you in a bit, okay? And it failed. It failed. We'll go to events here. We'll take a look here. Unsupported type IO2 for volume. So there's something wrong with what I typed in here, IO2. Thought that's what it was. I guess we'll go to take a look here. IO2. Oh, you know what? I think I wrote a 0. Yeah, see the slash through it? There we go. That'll fix it. We'll go delete this. All right, so we'll just delete that, and we will make our second attempt here. And hopefully, this time it works. With a little issue, we'll go ahead and execute that change set, and I'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, so we got rollback in progress. Let's take a look here and see what's happening. The parameter IOPS must be specified for IO2, so we can't just deploy this without specifying the IOPS. Oh, there you go. So the question is, what is the lowest value we can set for this? And it looks like 100. Okay, I'm just going to copy this again just in case it doesn't like the way I typed it. So we'll go ahead here and type 100 because I don't need a lot of IOPS. And we will go and tear this down. Learning from our mistakes, we will go ahead and try this again. We'll give this a refresh. We will execute this. And we will hang tight. All right, now what does it want? It's just never, never ending here. We'll go take a look here again. The image ID does not exist. Oh, you know what it is? Because we switched from CA Central to US East 1, that totally makes sense. We'll go ahead and tear this down. We'll go over to EC2. This stuff never just works the first time, does it? And we will go and pretend we're launching an instance so we can get that AMI ID. The other thing it's going to complain about, and I already know this, is the VPC. So I'll go back over to here and into our multi-attach template, and I'm going to replace the AMI. This is US East 1. And now I got to replace the VPC. Okay. We'll grab this as well. And I need a subnet. And this one in particular, I want US East 1A. So we'll go to subnets here, and we got a billion subnets. I just want US East 1A. US East 1C? No. US East 1A, yes. Is this public or private? Public, because I see IPv4. So I'm going to grab this subnet, and we will go back over to here. Paste that in here. And so hopefully this time we got it. So let's go back over to CloudFormation. If I have yet to tear down the old one, it is still deleting. I'm going to wait for this to completely delete before I launch the next one, okay? All right, so that has now been teared down. So I'm going to go back over to here. We're going to go ahead and deploy this again. And then hopefully this time we have not made any more mistakes. Okay, be back here in just a moment. All right, we finally have some success here. Let's take a look at the resources, and it looks like it is provisioning both of our EC2 instances. We'll make it our way over to EC2. I'm going to log into one. We're going to write something to the disk or the storage, and then we'll go over to the other one, okay? So these are initializing, so we'll have to wait a little bit here. So actually, I guess we don't really have to wait, but there's one and there's two. I wish we named these. So we'll have to keep track of this. This one's 107224, so we'll connect to this one first. Okay. And we'll say sudo su-ec2 user. Well, we have the ls-blk to see our volumes. And so we have our main one here, and then we have this one here. Notice this one is not mounted to anything, so we're going to have to mount it. So I'm going to make my way back over to here, as we do have mounting instructions somewhere here. I think it's on this one. Okay, so I'll go over here, and I'll just go to our multi-attach. And what we're going to want to do here is just run a couple lines. So I just want these two. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one and paste it in. And I'm not sure if it's the exact same name, so I'm going to double check and make sure that's the case. We go to storage. It is. Okay, good. And so we'll go ahead and copy this. And we'll paste this in. Enter. Oh, it has to be formatted for the first time, so that is something that we will have to do. So I'll go back over to our basic. And we have this line here. So we'll go back over to this one. And this will be format and mount. And then just format. Or sorry, just mount. Because in the second one, we don't need to format it twice, right? Otherwise, it's going to wipe the data out. And I'm just going to adjust this here. There we go. And we'll bring this down below here. So go ahead and just copy this. Paste it in, hit enter. So that should now be formatted. We should now be able to mount it. We can. I'm going to do an ls. I'm going to say touch hello.txt ls. So we have a file there. I'm going to exit out of this. We're going to go over to our other one. We're going to connect. I'm going to type in sudo su-ec2 user. We're going to type in ls pwd. We'll say ls this. Notice that it's not there whatsoever. We're going to go ahead and create this new volume. And we'll go and cd into it. Did I even cd into that directory when I made that volume? Now I'm not confident about that now. No, we didn't. So I'll do that now. Say hello.txt. We're kind of doing this backwards. I'm going to go type in sudo here, ls-la. And I'm gonna actually have to get out of this. I'm gonna have to go back into the original one because I got it backwards. I apologize. We'll go ahead and connect to the EC2.1 or whatever it is, the other one. And now we will CD into the new volume. And there it is. Okay, so there's our multi-attach. That worked out great. We're going to go over to CloudFormation and just wrap this thing up by deleting this stack. There we go. I'll just commit this for later. Multi-attach. We have to CD into that directory. So we'll just say new volume and touch hello.txt for people in the future. There you go. And we will see you in the next one. Okay, ciao.